All right, I want to thank you all for joining us tonight on our business training team call. Mary Ellen and myself and Joan were actually on the World Team meeting yesterday, which was pretty exciting. I mean, I was so glad, Mary Ellen, that they decided to gather the leaders, and so that we can be, kind of knowing what's going on and sharing that information with the next leaders, the next generation of World Team members. Can't wait for you guys to come on board and join us in this group. But what I'm really appreciating, and I know Mary Ellen, you are, and Joan, I think you're really appreciating the communication and keeping us up to date every step of the way as to what's going on. They're very organized, and just, again, I'm just so grateful. So I am going to go to the next slide. And I hope this is, yes, here we go. So some of you might have seen this. They did post it in the group about the incentives coming up with summer sprint incentive for those of us that are going to convention. So Mary Ellen, take it away, and then I'll add a little bit my excitement to this as well.
Yeah, this is a great contest that they're having, but what's really neat is they brought in somebody who's going to customize these t-shirts. So they're going to actually design them right on site, and you get to pick exactly what you want on your Neo Life t-shirt. But how to achieve this is you have to get either 3 new club members and or promoters, either one, with a minimum, of course, y'all have to have that minimum order of 30 PV, then you'll get 1 t-shirt. But if you get 5, you actually get 2 t-shirts. So it's pretty cool. So this is just to help us boost our Achiever Club points, get our points for convention, and so that's what their thing. And this one is from May 1st. So he said, even though it's launched today, it's retroactive to May 1st to June 30th.
And I love it. Stephen came on, was it Ashley came on and said it's not just a regular t-shirt. Like they didn't want just a cheap t-shirt. They said, we don't want cheap, we want quality. We got a fabric that's going to be really nice and comfortable. Because you know how sometimes you can go to these t-shirt places and it's like a plain old, t-shirt after a few washes, it kind of starts to ball and stuff. They're getting high quality t-shirts. So it's just not a cheapy little t-shirt. So yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun and pretty exciting. I'm excited because it's really, they give you 2 months to achieve this, right? So they give you May and June, which is awesome. So I think it's very doable for those of you that will be joining us at convention. And then this is kind of a new thing. And what was really interesting is who still feels sometimes a little uncomfortable when you're talking to somebody about auto ship, right? When you get to that part of the presentation, sometimes you feel, oh, how is this person gonna feel or react, right, to the auto ship word? Well, Ashley was so awesome when she explained it. She goes, people are okay with auto ship, but sometimes when it's the initial shock of that word, and sometimes when you're doing the presentation or you're talking about auto ship, people kind of get scared and they kind of stop listening, or they wonder, oh, what does that mean? Do I have to spend this kind of money every month? And then they don't really, they don't make that decision or get started right away because of that kind of fear of auto ship. So the way I love the way she explained it, and then I'll let Mary Ellen kind of maybe revise the way she heard it. But what I like the way she said was, when you're talking about, closing the deal, kind of saying, yeah, and we have this great Neoship option and where you can get wholesale price, and they're like, well, what's Neoship? Causes them to ask questions, causes them to have a conversation with you. That's all it does. And it kind of takes away a little bit of that discomfort. So Mary Ellen, maybe you can share a little bit about how you understood that.
Yeah, that's exactly how I heard it, because a lot of times when we start and we say, well, you can go on auto ship, well, already they're like, no, I don't. So they've shut down, right? So instead of them being open and asking, well, how do I get the discount or whatever, they're already like, oh, you know what? And then you're kind of backpedaling. You're saying, oh, well, you have full control. But when they say, what's Neoship, we can go into all those benefits right away about the fact that, you have total control over it. If you do it for 6 months, you get your free shipping back. Like there's so many benefits, as opposed to them shutting us down sort of, right away. And not saying that we can't convince them, but it's just tough. And with her coming in new, she didn't like that word at all. Like she felt very uncomfortable with it. So, and I think a lot of times too, I say monthly order, I was saying, but Neoship is even better, right?
Yeah, and I find that when I'm doing that presentation a lot at the end, I'm trying to explain myself or justify the auto ship, right? Because you're worried about how people are going to react to that word. And I've even talked to some people who were on different auto ships with other companies, and they go to cancel and they still charge their credit card and they still ship the product. So some people have a little bit of that, that negative feel about auto ship. So this is a new word, Neoship. You tell them they get a wholesale price. Also what was a little confusing was the discount be 25 to 30%. Sometimes people wonder, oh, why am I not getting 30%? Oh, it's on the nutrients. And well, Kendra did an amazing talk on that piece, saying that they're going to take away that 30%. And what's really cool is the prices have not gone up on the skincare because they're able to keep the raw materials there. It's not costing them more money. So even when we have our price adjustment in June, even though the skincare might not go up, it's going to be as 25%. So it's going to be in the same category. I think, is that the way you understood it, Mary Ellen?
Yeah, what they're doing is they're just reducing the retail price so that it's 25% more versus 30, but the DC price is staying the same. So that, when you see it, you'll have to make the changes on, if you do get people, no one hardly buys retail anyways, but if you do get somebody buying retail, they'll pay less, so that it's only 25%. So that when we say, hey, you can get a 25% discount across the board. And that's what I was saying half the time anyways. I never even mentioned the 30 because it was so confusing.
Awesome. And do you want to talk a little bit about the price adjustment that's coming in June? And a little bit about what I understood, Mary Ellen, and then maybe you can clarify, because I know you probably wrote better notes than me. Kendra was awesome. I felt so comfortable because she was trying to kind of help us understand that there's probably a recession coming, probably, like not, you don't know for sure. And it's funny because that word to me, because of the experience I've had with Neolife, even during COVID, my business grew. When we had a recession many years ago, my business grew. And she was sharing how our kind of business, it's not like we're protected, but people still make health their priority. And your customers that have had results on the products and been consumers for this long, usually they stick. Like I've had people from 31 years ago that have never stopped, even during the ups and downs. We had a huge price increase in Canada. Oh my gosh, I don't know how many years ago that was. And I was scared, but it was interesting. I only lost a few customers. I didn't lose, like the bulk of my customers continued buying because they value the products and it's important to them. And then what Kendra was saying was, even though there might be a price increase, one thing that Neolife has, they're set in the market, like as far as raw materials. A lot of people say, oh, there's gonna be a food shortage. What about supplies, raw materials? Is that gonna affect our businesses? Kendra says Neolife has them, they're so well protected, and they predict this from happening like years ahead. So they are in a safe place. Whereas if there's a shortage of soybeans or wheat, Neolife, it will not be affected because of they prepared for future things happening like this. Okay. And Kendra's hit it on the nail. They are in a financial position that they're able to do that. Not very many companies are in that financial kind of security. So Mary Ellen, is that kind of, I know you probably made some clearer notes, but that's what I understood when Kendra was talking about, because most of you know we have a small price adjustment every June or July because of raw materials. But another thing that she shared was, even though the DC goes up, guess what else goes up? Our paycheck goes up. Right? So it's that inflation safety feature. I get excited because even though when we have a bit of a price increase, I still use the same products, but my paycheck goes up. Okay, so that's kind of cool. So Mary Ellen, anything on your side?
Yeah, and that's what Stephen was saying, that in a lot of companies that he'd been, around, that they actually reduce the BV too. So people actually lose money when there's a price increase. But what they talked a lot about was, because inflation is in the US right now, it's 8.5%. So there's the price adjustment in Canada is going to be 5.7%. You know, and again, some of the products won't be affected, but again, if you look even with the cost of living inflation in Canada is 6.7% right now, so it's still below what the cost of living is. And when you think about it, the cost of tomatoes has gone up 40%. You know, cereal and orange juice has gone up 24%. Like everything is gone up so high, and you know, and I put this on my my group because to sort of say, but it's easier to explain price once than to apologize for quality forever. And Neolife's whole philosophy has always been up to a standard, but not down to a price. So they won't put cheap raw, like a lot of companies will start cutting the raw materials and putting cheaper, you know, supplies in, where Neolife will never do that. So again, you know, nobody likes a price adjustment. I always say, I don't call it an increase, I call it an adjustment. But, you know, it's a fact of life. Everything, you look at groceries, like everything is going up right now. So, you know, hopefully we could work around it and just help people get the 3 for free, and, you know, find ways to make it affordable for them, and, you know, work their programs the best that they can in their budgets, right?
Yeah. And I loved when Kendra said, when she said yesterday, Mary Ellen, that, you know, a lot of requests or questions that people have been calling Neolife, and they were worried, they were concerned that with raw materials increasing, and some of these raw materials having, you know, other companies are going to be having a challenge, would Neolife compromise the ingredients? And like you hit it on the nail, Kendra said, never, never, ever, no matter what it costs to make that product the highest quality, they will go to the extreme measures so that they don't compromise the quality or replace it with something cheaper than. She said they will never, ever do that. So that's something that I know other companies have done. And I know you know that, Mary Ellen. They'll do blends of natural, blends of non-GMO, but also introduce other raw materials just to save money so they have a higher profit margin.
Yeah, and even, you know, a lot of people see that Food Babe, she's like blasting stuff all over the place. Well, she says she has this organic whole food vitamin. Well, I took a look at her multivitamin, and her source of carotenoids, where we use carrots, they use Duolina salina, which is pond scum. So again, just this is what you have to watch, even though they're organic, and she's got a big following and people are, you know, going on this bandwagon. But if you follow what John Miller says, Duolina salina is a cheap product that they contort it to create beta carotene, where you get a carrot, it's got it in it already. Then that's what our body recognizes. So it's not optimum, you know, just because of, but, you know, a lot of hype, right?
Mm-hmm. Excellent, thank you. Anything else in your notes? That's kind of what was on the top of my head, but was there any other notes that you wrote?
Yeah, I did write a few.
I know you did.
I won't talk too long though, but
no,
one thing that Kendra talked about, which I thought was really good, because you know what's going on in Ukraine, and there's you know, like it's they're following it because they have a lot of countries in Neolife are bordering Ukraine right now. Yeah. So Neolife is actually, a lot of the distributors in these bordering countries are bringing in families, and Neolife is providing lots of supplements to help the people in Ukraine. So there's this, you know, they're definitely doing a lot of work in that area, which is really good. And one of the things, there has been a couple changes in the back office. So, you know, before our recognition name, you couldn't change it. Well, if you go into accounts now, it is edible, because before, like like sometimes when you sign up, you might put a name, but it's not really the name you want. Well, you can go in and change that now, your recognition name. And in the accounts too, it has a bank deposit feature, right? If you already have your direct deposit in place, if you go into that, it's not going to show that there's anything existing, but it doesn't matter, it's still there. What this is for new people. So that a new person, instead of, you know how before it was such a hassle, we just send all the forms in and everything. If you sign up a new promoter now, they can actually go into that feature, and they can set their auto deposit up right away, so they don't miss out on getting their checks. Okay, so that's something that we should include in our kit opening, sort of when we're introducing people. Mm-hmm. So that's super important. And also, what else? There's in the reports too, there's now a challenge report. So you can look and see who in your team is actually in the challenge. And also there's a 3 for free downline report. So you can look and see where your members are to see, like, so let's say someone qualified for a breakfast pack this month. You can go look and see, and they go, oh my gosh, they're qualifying for a shape up pack next month. So you can actually call them and say, hey, be sure to change your auto ship so you get that shape up pack. So because I've had people miss packs because they
me too, Mary Ellen. Great.
Yeah, they
Your
didn't know.
Neoship, we got to get used to that. Now,
Yeah, that's right.
They
Your
said it's to be changed.
Neoship is now going to be, whatever type thing. So, so that's super important. And at convention too, they're going to have two kind of exciting things. They're going to have a ladies event, which is going to, because, as Asho says, you get a lot of powerful women in the room. But what's really nice too, they're going to have a men's event too. So where the men can get together for leadership and legacy type thing. And of course, the summer spring, let me see. Yeah, so they're gonna have a ladies and men's breakout session, which will be really good. And also the health packs. You know how when you say to people, oh, you get your health pack for free, then they go look in the thing, they go, oh my gosh, there's a sport pack, there's a vitality pack, what's a health pack? Well, now they're calling it health solutions. So you get your health solutions for free. And that'll be, either the Pro Vitality and the vegan shake, or the Pro Vitality and the Neo Life shake, or whatever so-called Neo packs were available before. So that, again, the wording, because Ashley said when she found out you could get your health packs for free, of course, she looks at packs, everything in packs on the price list, and it totally confused her, especially in the US, because they have
they have more packs in the US. So they have stress pack, sports pack, over 50 pack. They've got all these packs. So you're right. I can see it being very, very confusing. But you're right, Mary Ellen. I found even some people, when they go on there and they see vitality pack, breakfast pack, shape up pack, whatever, it is confusing. So calling it a health solution, I think, is wonderful. And then they're going to have a drop down menu, right, Mary Ellen, where it explains.
Yeah, well, what it is you can add on to your pack. So it's going to be like bundles, they're calling it. So there is going to be a Canadian one. I know in the US, the one bundle is going to be like acidophilus and the bars and the tea. And
immunity, I think they call it immunity add-on.
Yeah.
Or energy add-on.
Yeah, the immunity add-on is Phyto, and then they have a surprise one because there's a new product coming out at convention. They're going to announce.
It almost leaked, right? Yeah. They almost said what it was. So we don't, a product that's coming in.
Yeah, I know Kendra said she's been taking it, so we'll see what it is.
But loves it, yeah. So
but yeah, so in other, if somebody says, well, this is great, this foundation, but I want to boost my immunity, well, they just can click on it and the Phyto will pop up and they can add it right onto their pack. Make it a little easier for them. Again, if they want the one-click thing, like they're really young, and you know how it is, they say if you have to click a website more than 3 times, you lose somebody, right? So they want it where it's kind of one click and everything's is all in. And yeah, and I think and they were just saying for make sure you get your 100 points in by by month end. You can't do it the day after, even though you can do some corrections that day and stuff like that. So, and that's about it.
Yeah, and that, just to clarify with some of you guys, I know some people get confused. So you guys have like the date when month end falls like on a Saturday or a Sunday, you guys have all day Monday until midnight to sponsor and place an order. Okay, then Mary Ellen, myself, and Joan, they give us another day. We can't sign people up, you can't process applications, but if, let's say, you guys have somebody that's close to executive manager or close to senior manager, then we can, on your behalf, place an order or transfer points. Okay, so we get that extra day, but we only have until 3 o'clock that following day.
Eastern's time, right?
Yeah, our time. So they're really, so noon their time. They're really strict about that because of all the international, because now we're merged with international, they don't want our checks delayed an extra day, because they used to give us a whole day and the following day, and then people were complaining that their checks were, a little delayed. So they're really strict with that closing time. So just so that you guys know, because once your businesses start to grow and you have other people placing orders under you, and they do it up until, some people are up till, I remember Cindy had Amanda 3 in the morning, she placed her order, and it's midnight there, but 3 in the morning our time, right? So, and things started to change. And then Cindy wakes up in the morning and she says, oh my gosh, oh, and then she had to do something. So it's a good thing they're giving us another day to kind of finalize points and things like that. Okay. Any questions from the team on anything you've heard tonight? Anything you want us to clarify? Any feedback? We'd love to hear some feedback from you guys. Unmute yourselves, please. Anybody? Interaction, dudes.
I'm Patience.
Hi, Patience.
Hi, I'm just glad that they've made the announcement now for that there'll be a price hike. Because I'll tell you, like in Africa last Thursday, way after that closing time for business, a letter was released to increase the price of one product that people buy a lot, that the price will be up on Monday.
Oh.
So people complained the price was up on Monday for a product that a lot of people buy. And I think yesterday or today, I received a letter apology from Neolife that they did not.
You know what, Patience, that's very unusual for Neolife.
Yeah, because I asked my presidential team member, and he didn't even know about it. Then he asked Marco Taylor, and he explained to him. Then they released the letter.
Yeah, that's very unusual. Usually Neolife gives you, like, we all know that usually as a promoter, we know that the prices usually go up June, July. That's been forever. So we know that, but they usually give us a lot of notice, especially before the end of May, before month end, because some people like to stock up with the old prices.
Yeah, so I'm really glad that they've done the announcement for people to at least know in their heads that.
For sure, and prepare for it. And they'll send a letter. You'll get a letter explaining the raw materials, you know, why they chose that percentage of increase. And they'll talk about, for example, I remember one year, Tran went up a little bit more than most of the products because they were having, you know, the soybeans, right? For them to produce and manufacture was costing them more money. So anyway, so it all depends on the raw materials and accessing. So but no, the communication usually is really, really good.
And it's not till June 23rd, right? So we have quite a bit of time.
Yeah. Thank you, Patience. Anybody
and
else?
Since it's the 23rd, just to flag everyone, if you have people who do their auto ships on the 25th, make sure and contact them and get them to move it up to the 22nd so that they don't get the higher price like for 1 day or 2 days. Okay, so that's something a lot of, you know, if they're club members, they won't take notice of that. So we have to help them with that.
And I usually send a mass email with the price adjustment letter. They should get one too, but definitely in that email. They
don't clue in though.
No, but that's why it's important to come from you. You're right. The upline needs to contact them and just let them know, say, you know, make sure you put your auto ship to the 22nd. Actually, I don't think even the 24th, because
no, the 20, isn't it 23rd? Is it 23rd or 24th? We have to have it the day before, whatever day the price
to get for it to process, right? If not, but if the price adjustment is the 23rd, then you're right. The auto ship date needs.
Yeah, it's the 20. I just got the letter here. It's June 23rd. So they have to have it by the 22nd. Okay.
Yeah.
Because it's 12 a.m. or something.
Right, because of the time difference. Okay. Anybody else? Any other feedback, questions?
There's one other thing, Nada.
Yes.
They're going to develop a World Team Neolife Roundtable. And so they'll get like 5 to 7 World Team promoterships. And they meet once a month on Zoom. And it gives them another connection to the corporate office. So you ask questions. So it changes every 6 months.
Excellent.
That's the new thing right now.
Thank you, Joan.
Nada, it's Yuli Lee.
Hi.
Coming back to the auto ship.
Yeah.
That 23rd would be an ongoing thing. That's a new date for the auto ship going forward?
No. Marilyn was just explaining, because the prices are, it's going to be called Neoship, but because the price adjustment is happening on the 23rd, you just notify your team to change it to the 22nd, so they get the cheaper price.
It's for the 1 month, and then they can put it back the next month if they
They can
want.
change it back in July, that they can put it back to the 25th.
Okay, the only reason I was asking because I have several seniors and they depend on when their pension comes in, and it doesn't come into like the 28th. So when the auto ship is on the 25th, it's okay. But then if it goes to the 28th, it wouldn't help them because they wouldn't be able to pay for it at that time.
Yeah, but the Yuli, the Neoship's always the 25th anyway. So if they don't get paid till the 28th, then their July order, like, you know what I mean? So basically then their let me get this straight. So if they're getting paid at the end of April.
They get paid like the 27th
of April, right?
Right.
So then their May order will, if they get paid at the end of May, so their auto ship is for the June the 5th, they're going to still get the better price because the prices aren't moving until the 23rd.
Well, and if they don't move it, they can leave it as is. They'll just pay the 5% more. That's all. So if they can't pay it that day,
right.
like, you know what I'm saying, just leave it as is then, and they just pay that, you know, if that's a problem.
And it would be just for the 1 month anyway.
Yeah, I would just move it up for the 1 month and then move it back the next month.
Okay.
But, you know, if you want to save 5%, if they don't care, then leave it as is, right?
Right. Okay.
Okay. Anybody else?
And then one other question, the prices on when you're ordering, the prices that are listed are already the 25%, correct?
Well, for you they are
yes.
because you're a promoter, but there's
But
a
for the club members.
if
Yeah,
they're an
it's
if they're an
25.
auto ship, it's automatically 25% off if they're on Neoship.
And that's the price it's already listed on the system.
But if they'll see all the prices though, Yuli, if they click the auto ship button off, then they'll see the retail and the member price. They'll see all the prices, all the columns.
Right. Okay.
So when you know what, you and I will go through that and I'll show you because I know you're maybe getting confused with the different columns on the price list.
Okay, no problem.
So we'll review that together. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
Okay. Anybody else?
I'm loving Neoship.
I know.
I think that's an awesome way to make it easier.
Yeah.
Yeah, because ownership.
Not as
takes care of
threatening, right?
people.
Not as threatening. Yeah. You know what? That's why it's so cool to have, and the way Ashley explained it, it was like, oh, she just nailed it. Like just how people feel and, you know, they tense up and they like, oh, and it was like, so yeah, it was pretty cool. So
Yeah, and then you're trying to justify.
then you have to
it.
justify,
You
yeah.
don't have to stay
You
Yeah.
don't have to stay on auto ship, but you can make change. Like, yeah, we right away start, you know,
immediately.
yeah, trying to
And
explain.
we'll have to
it
let
them.
everyone know about the name change because you know how it is. Everything else is the same except the name. You
Right.
know how it is when you change the name, people will get all, oh my gosh, is it different? You know, it's not.
Yeah.
And I also love the idea of the t-shirt. Normally when I see, hey, you can do this with a t-shirt, it really doesn't do too much for me because it's like, well, a t-shirt, great. But if it's something creative that you can kind of pick out and kind of design, I think that will be, yeah, I think that's a fun way to do it.
Yeah. And they bring everything there, like all the different, and you're designing yourself.
Yeah.
You're actually making it yourself. Yeah, it's really cool. Yeah. Yeah, they're really going to make this convention very different. It'll be so
Yeah,
much fun.
they're bringing in a specialized company that does this. So it's, I guess they've seen this before. I don't know, but yeah, it's a special company.
Yeah, it'd be fun. All right. Anybody else? Any other feedback? These are all so quiet. So who's already has a sign up for May and June? Like how many away are you from getting your t-shirt, guys? Anybody?
Sadie, you've got, Sadie, have you got?
Serena's got 2. You need 1 more to get your free t-shirt. That's exciting.
Oh, I have one.
Okay.
I have to actually look. Maybe I have, or I might have 3 points.
And
So
it has to be personal, right? Personal.
yeah, okay. So
Yeah.
I think I have 1. I need 2 more.
Yeah. For me, like I'm getting a lot of points because Serena, I'm using your points and you know, Leonie, like people in my downline, like I was on the leaderboard because of you guys, but I haven't personally sponsored. So this is going to give me a kick in the butt to try to find people myself personally, because I'm working with my team all the time, right? So it's like, oh man. Anyways, it's going to be fun. It's going to be a challenge for me.
They're not having their pictures on, Jim.
Sorry?
How come they're not having their pictures
Oh, hang
on?
on. I
What
gotta-
pictures?
Who's that?
The video thing.
I don't know if that is talking.
Jim.
They use them for training.
Oh, there we go. It was Jim. That's okay. All right. So I know we've got our product. What time is it? I want to make sure that we're good for time. 7:35. Awesome. Okay, I'm going to play one quick video only because Mary Ellen shared this with me and I thought, wow, this is pretty awesome. So let's just listen to this. Oh, I forgot to probably hit, hang on, share sound. Let me do that. Okay, hopefully it'll come up. Here we go.
John Maxwell here. I'm so glad you've joined us today with Minute with Maxwell. And in my few moments with you today, I want to encourage you to choose happiness. Yes, you heard that right. Choose happiness. I run into a lot of people who somehow feel that the happiness they have is the responsibility of someone else. So if they're having a good time with people that they care about, they just say, well, I'm just so happy. And if the people around them are not saying what they want to hear or not doing
Did you
what
share anything?
they do, they all of a sudden say, well, my gosh, it's not a good day. And they begin to look at the people, the situation, the experience, the circumstance, and kind of think erroneously, my friend, that other people choose happiness for them. I have good news for you today. Happiness is very close to you as a possibility, but it isn't going to be given to you by me or by your spouse or by your children or by the people that you work with or by your neighbors. Only you can give yourself happiness. You have to determine that you'll be happy. Now, what's beautiful is the moment that you make that choice, all those people around you will add invaluable assets and they'll help you to increase the happiness in your life. That will happen. But you're the one that must choose happiness for yourself. So do that. It's a choice. You can do it now. That's why we have Minute with Maxwell, to help you to do today something that'll make you better for tomorrow.
Thank you for sharing that today, Mary Ellen. That kind of hit home to me. And I thought I have to share this. So I texted her this morning. So I got to share that video you posted. So when you guys find things like this, send them to me, because sometimes, you know, they come at an appropriate time in our life, in your business, and just sharing it with the team, I think is very valuable. So,
And you can sign up for he has 1 minute motivation things he does daily. And I get them in my inbox every day. So you can just sign up for that. If you just go onto his website and you can sign up for it. Minute with Maxwell.
Oh, awesome. So minutewithmaxwell.com.
Yeah.
Minutewithmaxwell.com.
Yeah.
Is that, did you have to do the capitals like the way it's there, Mary Ellen, or does it matter? Do you see it's capital M, capital I, capital M?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Should be fine.
I forget it was so, I've been doing this for years, so I forget how I signed up.
Awesome. No, that's great. Thank you. Awesome. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining us. And I hope this was helpful tonight. And if you have some guests in about 20 minutes, we'll see you over on the other side.
Yeah, I see some people have been trying to sign in. So
Awesome. Oh, good news. Thanks, Mary Ellen.
yeah. Okay.
Okay. See you over.